Hare Ganga Mahadev Sri Shankara Parvati Pati Mahadev Sri Shankara.
Namaste, it's Sahara Rose, and welcome back to the Highest Self podcast, a place to discuss what makes you your soul's highest evolvement. I am so excited. We are like a month out from my book, Discover Your Dharma, to be available for all of you to read. And this book is really my, by far, most important work, my truest work. It is my story. It is my thoughts. It is my downloads. You know, I've written a couple other books before, but, Idiot's Guide to Ayurveda was me more so translating Ayurveda and making it accessible for people. And Eat, Feel Fresh was about healing and food and nutrition. And the yogic path was channeling wisdom from these deities and these age-old beliefs. So it's kind of been me translating ancient knowledge, which obviously is a huge part of my Dharma. But I've also learned so much along the way, so much about living my Dharma, living my truth, overcoming so many obstacles and limiting beliefs and familial conditioning and fears and all of it. And, the question that I kept getting from people was the story behind the story of how are you teaching ancient wisdom for a living? How is this possible? What do your parents think about this? Did you just grow up super spiritual? And I was always getting all these questions, and you would be surprised when they'd find out, no, was not raised super spiritual. No, my parents were not happy about what I was doing. And I had so many fears and obstacles and so many potential pathways that I could have taken instead of this that made much more sense, felt a lot safer, were definitely the path more paved. But I chose to listen to my intuition. Not always an easy thing to listen to, but eventually I did. And it brought me to learning so much over the past decade that I have been blogging now since 2010. February of 2010 is when Eat, Feel Fresh was first published out. So it's been almost 11 years now that I have been doing this work, but not 11 years that I have been doing it in this way. So my book, Discover Your Dharma, has been my findings, my fears and thoughts, and all of the things I overcame and how I did it. And then taking this wisdom that I've learned from Ayurveda, from the chakra system, from Vedic spirituality, and how it actually is so much more than just your health, your nutrition, your self-care. Yeah, these are all important. And I find it to be so much deeper than just that. It's not just about scraping your tongue and oil pulling. It's about knowing the truth of who you are. And I always say with spirituality, it's almost like there's so many entry points, but we're all going to end up at the same place. So for me, my entry point was my physical health, my body shutting down, me going through perimenopause when I was 21 years old, not having a period for 2 years, having osteoporosis symptoms, being on dozens of prescription medications, from everything from being prescribed for IBS to hormone replacement therapy to antidepressants, and eventually learning how to heal my own body through Ayurveda, and then realizing that Ayurveda told me the truth of who I was, that my Vata personality, my creativity, my ideas, my desire to travel and come up with new ideas, that wasn't just a shadow aspect I had, but that was directly related to my Dharma, to my soul's purpose, the big reason why I'm here. And, that was a huge journey because I had never seen anyone living their Dharma before. I'm the first person in my family to, be born in the US, but also the first woman to ever work. The first one to not, be married with multiple kids by my age, come from a lineage of child marriage, including my own grandmother. So me being who I am was definitely not even understood, let alone celebrated. And now that I have interviewed, hundreds of people on this podcast over the past 3.5 years and had thousands of conversations with so many off the podcast too about their Dharma, I realized that we don't all go about it the same way. I think we often celebrate in our mainstream world, they quit their job and they invest in this business, and then the business got on Shark Tank and they made it, this huge miraculous leap that someone took and then they made it. And truthfully, that's not how everyone's dharma is going to go or how it is meant to go. So from doing a lot of research on this, and especially for my book, Discover Your Dharma, because everyone's journey is so unique, just like everyone's unique dosha constitution is so unique, and unique dharma archetype is so unique, I've kind of pinpointed down 4 pathways that people often get to their dharma. So these 4 types of dharma, you may have a combination of 2, maybe even 3, maybe different aspects of your dharma has related to each. But I think it's really important, and I've really never seen a book that goes into the process of living your dharma into such detail that I have in this book, because I'm kind of sick of books that make it seem like this like one size fits all approach, and like you're either courageous and brave and strong or you suck. And that's just not how it goes. A lot of people have just different lifestyles and different expectations and different responsibilities, and we just can't expect everyone's dharma journey to look the same, because it's not going to, and everyone has unique soul lessons they need to learn from it. So throughout this book, I've really given so many different ways that living your dharma can go. I have 3 routes to dharma, and these are now the 4 types of dharma. So this is an excerpt now from my book, from Discover Your Dharma, in chapter 3. I've been reading excerpts of the book every week on this podcast, which has given me such great joy to be able to, just read it out loud to you, like a grandmother reading out loud to her grandkids. And it just makes me feel so proud, honestly, of the young girl within me that didn't give up, because there are many, many times that I could have. And I hope, if anything, it inspires you to know that one day you could be reading your story and your findings to people who you get to inspire. And that makes everything worth it. So here we go. The 4 types of dharma. We were all born with gifts. For some of us, they're obvious. That's because our society celebrates certain gifts like singing and shooting hoops, while others, like raising a child, are ignored. Because of this, if we're not harmonizing like Mariah or hitting 3-pointers, we feel like we have no purpose. Your gift may be hosting events, helping people heal through trauma, organizing homes, inspiring people to become healthier. These gifts may seem more subtle, but they're actually just as profound, and we need all of them. Through my research on dharma, I've realized that although we all have a different dharma, there are these various types. Some of us are born knowing our dharmas, while some had to forget only to remember again. Some dharmas are developed through overcoming obstacles, while others are unveiled as the solution to a problem that's plaguing yourself or others. Some dharmas work as a combination of all of them. So let's explore what they are. Number 1, you know your gift. You know those people who just came out of the womb doing their dharmas and ain't nothing ever stopped them? Yeah, this is the first one. They have an undeniable gift they came on this earth to share. Most artists and athletes fall under this category. They were given an incredible voice, ability to shoot a goal or tell a joke, all skills we celebrate in our society. However, that doesn't mean they're set for life. The gift was given to them, but it's up to them to determine what they want to do with it. They still must fine-tune it with practice. There's no denying that Adele was born with the gift of a powerful voice, but there are dozens of others with wonderful voices as well who didn't improve their skills, commit to their path, and of course, have her same dharma. Some of the best musicians aren't even playing, not because they're less talented, but because they did not chase their dharmas the way that others did. Think of it like the joke about the man who prays to God every day to win the lottery. Finally, an exasperated God says, "Meet me halfway and buy a lottery ticket for once." Number 2, you have a breakdown and share it. I was on my knees wondering if God does exist when suddenly a voice came over me and I knew what I came here to do. These breakthrough stories are often what you hear from coaches, motivational speakers, and authors, all whom fall under the teacher archetype I discuss in chapter 6. A breakdown can be anything from a health crisis to poverty to heartbreak to addiction. From this point, you take radical responsibility for your life and transform your worldview with a newfound sense of purpose to share your realizations with others. Your pain becomes your purpose, and your mess becomes your message. These difficult moments give life meaning and allow you to heal others and ourselves in the process. This is my type of Dharma. Number 3, you had a need and now are solving it. We often find our dharmas by serving our own needs and then finding that others need the exact same thing. It doesn't have to be anything traumatic, but something we genuinely needed help with ourselves, such as support in the early stages of our business, organic baby wipes, or deliverable Ayurvedic soups. For example, author Vanessa Van Edwards dealt with social anxiety and an inability to read social cues. So she studied them, even making flashcards of people's facial expressions to review. This led to her creating her blog on being less socially awkward, which eventually led to her book Captivate. If you have an issue, chances are someone else does too, and they'd love to know your approach to solving it. Number 4, people around you needed something and you found the solution. This is the less talked about way to find your Dharma, but it's just as important. You don't personally have to go through an issue in order for it to be your Dharma. What problem can you solve for others? You might be passionate about health because you helped your father reverse his diabetes and want to help others do the same. You don't have to personally have gone through the issue to want to be part of the solution. As we enter the new paradigm, we no longer have to experience breakdowns to find our medicine. Hopefully, our children can begin their paths as healers and helpers without that firsthand experience themselves. You still have a Dharma even without a life-defining moment. There are many people who feel that because nothing significant has happened to them, they don't have a unique story or perspective. Overcoming normalcy can sometimes feel more difficult than overcoming a life-shattering event because there isn't that great need to shift. You can just easily float on by living a regular life without asking yourself the great big question of why you're here. However, even if you can't name one life-defining moment, there are many moments that have defined your life and Dharma. We've all overcome something. After all, not all traumas are experienced in the same way. Divorce can cause some kids great pain and anguish that takes them years to overcome. For others, it may not be that big of a deal and they understand innately that mommy and daddy want to separate and that it's better for everyone. There is no comparison between unique traumas. In the end, drowning in 2 feet of water is no different than drowning in 20. We often compare traumas and think that the person with the craziest life story wins, but we've all overcome some obstacles. You don't need to have a major trauma to have Dharma. You are meant to share in other ways. So, which of these 4 types of Dharma do you relate to? I know I definitely relate to the breakdown and breakthrough. I don't think I kind of knew my gift. I knew I was a good writer and a good speaker, but I never thought I would do it as my career. So I had a nudge, but I didn't totally know. It was more so when I had my breakdown that it came through. And in a way, I have number 3, that I had a need and now that I'm solving it, and also that I'm solving it for others. But I would say that number 2 is still my main one. So which of these 4 types relate to you? Please share with me over on your Instagram story. Tag me. I would love to see and learn more about you guys. And if you are curious and wanting to dive deeper into this book, if you are liking this little excerpt and wanting to know what comes next, I actually go into the 3, 4, and 5 dimensions of Dharma and how different people are born into different dimensions, but their Dharma could be meant to serve in another dimension, and all sorts of other things of how your dosha is related to your Dharma, how to move your Dharma through your chakras, how to overcome limiting beliefs, your Dharma archetype, your Dharma blueprint, All of it is available for you in Discover Your Dharma. So you could head over to my pre-order page. I am sahararose.com/dharma, and I have so many incredible bonuses for you if you pre-order. So why pre-order? You've probably heard other authors talk about this, but the real reason why people are, asking their audience members to pre-order is because it counts a lot more, towards deciding what stores are going to have which book or not than buying it after the book comes out. So if you are considering buying this book, please, I would really ask you to pre-order it, because that tells stores that people are interested in this book and you should carry more of it. So as a gift for you for pre-ordering this book and getting it right on January 5th when it comes out, I will also be giving you tickets to my live virtual book launch event. So this is going to be taking place on Zoom just for people who pre-ordered the book. I'm going to be answering any of your questions related to discovering your Dharma. Whatever questions you have in your mind, I'm going to be answering it. I'm sure we're going to go for a while. And you'll also be emailed the recording. I'll also be sending you my Discover Your Dharma meditation, and I'll be doing some giveaways, including a one-on-one Discover Your Dharma coaching session with me, where I will be working with you via Zoom to help you discover your Dharma, randomly given just to one person who pre-orders the book. I'll also be giving away Rose Gold Goddesses memberships, my Doshas and Dharma tanks, and so much more. If you pre-order 4 copies, I will actually give you material and a video to help you host your own Discover Your Dharma book club. So these are end of chapter practices, questions, and so much more to facilitate an epic conversation over the course of a book club, so you don't have to do this all on your own. And I will send you a replay of my live Discover Your Dharma meditation workshop that I did in New York last year. Now, if you pre-order 10 copies, and you might be a teacher, meditation teacher, yoga teacher, maybe you work in HR, you're part of a team, you're wanting to work with people and help them discover their Dharma too, I'll actually be giving you end of chapter discussion questions and reflective prompts to facilitate in a group or team setting. So again, you could do this with your class, your teammates, your colleagues, your students, as well as 2 instructional videos on aligning your Dharma with the company's vision and knowing your Dharma within the company or within the team. So again, you can head over to iamsahararose.com/dharma. The link is over in the show notes. Submit your receipts there to get these pre-order bonuses. I am so excited to share them with you. I have been working so long and so hard on putting these all together, and I can't wait to see the impact that it has on your lives. So again, head over to iamsahararose.com/dharma. The link is in the show notes, and I'm so excited for you to read this book. Thank you so much for being a beautiful listener of the podcast, support, and for hearing me speak from my heart and speak my truth. And I'm so excited to hear yours as well. Namaste.